Hi, welcome to Lego Chronicles. This is Dylan, my husband, the star, and I'm the co-host.
Whatever.
And then today we are doing the Lars Family Homestead Kitchen. I'm not a Star Wars nerd, so I have no idea who the Lars are, but I guess Dylan will tell me as we build it. And then we have a mini pack that he also wants to build, and I also have no idea what this is.
It's called a ATST.
And then we have
Just minifigures.
minifigures from Star
Hoth.
Wars. So it's all Star Wars today, and I'm gonna learn what everything is because I don't have the attention span to watch Star Wars. So I just haven't seen any of the movies. But I've been on Star Wars rides at Disney World.
That's
so
cool.
It's not like I'm totally closed off.
Oh, man. Did I tell you that I met, or not met, but so I follow this Lego kid on YouTube, and he went to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Orlando.
Okay.
And so when he went there, he took a picture with the Millennium Falcon and next to some handrail I made. And so I was like, dude, I built that stuff that you're looking at. And it was weird because I've seen a couple of my friends go there, and I know people that have gone there, but to see someone that I don't know but I do follow, like another personality out there, it was weird. It was a trip. I was like, whoa.
I bet it is weird to like see someone at a place that you created and they're taking a picture with it. It like makes you feel like you impact the world, right?
Yeah, of course. And it was like, I mean, that is exactly that's where all the gratitude is. It's really cool. And it's like, it takes you by surprise because I never expected to. I'm just looking at his feed, like scrolling through my YouTube feed, and I see the work I've done out in the field as a union iron worker and as non-union. The handrail was when I was working for a different company doing ornamental, and I did all these prototypes for Disney, and it was really cool. And they did that same handrail in both parks, and so I recognized it. I turned this steel pipe into like a
How
tree.
exciting would it be if, like, whenever we go back to Disney World and you can show your daughter, like, what you made?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It would be cool. And, it would be really cool.
Yeah. She's going to love that. Oh, my daddy made that.
I can't wait. There's a lot of. I can't wait till my family comes up. I want to take my grandpa to the Hayward Stadium and show him that.
Grandpa Steve? For this time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I want to take a drive over there.
Okay.
It's kind of far, but
It is.
it'd be worth
Pretty
it.
far. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe next time. But it'd be really cool. I told him to pass through there.
I mean, he never comes to outside of California, though. You might want to need to do it now because he's. When's the last time he's left California for anything?
So he took a cross-country road trip, actually, with his girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When did they do that?
That was sometime last year.
Oh, wait. I think Jenny was actually telling me about it while we were there.
Yeah. And he retired.
Yeah.
And now they just do that, and he works on he's got a little like a little western town built out there and across the street from his house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They just bought a 1940 Chevy with suicide doors, 4-door.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think.
Do you have a
it was
picture?
Chevy.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to show you later.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, what's the oldest car you've ever rode in?
Oldest car I have rode in. Ooh. I don't know.
That's a good question, right?
Don't know. I have been in quite some luxury cars just because that's the nature of living in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
What kind of cars? What's
it's
the
hard
coolest
not
car?
to run into somebody who doesn't have like a Benz or like a Corvette
Right.
or something nice, and then you
What's
become
the-
friends with them, especially someone like me who talks to everybody.
What's the coolest car you've been in?
I would say, I don't know, like, I would have to say a Corvette.
They're pretty sick.
Yeah, it was an older one, like
Wait.
one from like the 90s or something.
Okay.
Early 2000s maybe. I don't know what year it was. But so I was allowed to drive it, and I was like, oh, shit.
What? You got to drive it?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Whoa.
I decided I didn't want to drive it longer than
It's a lot of power, huh?
yeah.
That's cool.
It was so much power. I was scared, and it was in Miami, and I was like, oh my god, like I don't know if I feel comfortable driving this car in downtown Miami. Like this is like intense.
Manual? Was it a oh no, you can't drive a manual. Yeah, what am I thinking?
It's just been a long time, so it was not the time to relearn driving someone's Corvette. No.
That's something you got to be practiced.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, all right, this car is so fast. And like the guy was like, no, you got it, you got it. And I was just like, okay.
I'll try.
Yeah. And then it was like at night too. You know, I hate driving at night. It makes me so nervous because I'm a grandma.
Really bad. I'm surprised you did that at night. Yeah, you're not one to drive at night.
He insisted. I was like, no, I really don't want to drive your car. He's like, no, drive it. Like, I'm like
okay. I guess. It's on you. So whatever happens here is on you.
Right, exactly. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pull into this parking lot and we're going to switch because this is just like so much horsepower that I'm not used to. And thank you for letting me drive your car, but I think I'm done.
That's really, I can't believe I would never. The only person that ever got to drive the Dodge Dart was my dad, and I let my sister drive it once.
Brittany?
Just down the road.
Just one time?
Yeah, just down the road. Straight down, I got it on camera. It went right down to the Papa's driveway, like on Bayless Road, and then turned around, came back.
Oh my God.
Had to go fast for a little bit.
That's funny.
Yeah. She was smiling so big, just ear to ear, like, oh my God, that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And, yep. And then
old cars are cool. I mean, I've seen like tons of old cars. Like we used to go to car shows together.
Yeah.
In Orlando.
Did you go to any when you were younger?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in the very first podcast we ever did. Went to car shows growing up with my dad in California.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I love cars. I told my mom, I was like, because you were talking about selling your Harley, and I was telling her about it. And I was like, well, I didn't pressure him. He came up with this idea on his own. I'm like probably the only wife that would never ask my husband to sell any vehicle.
Right. Yeah, I need a bigger one.
And my mom's like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If we ever had a $50,000 classic car and sitting in our driveway, I'd be like, we are not selling that car unless we're dying.
Yep. We'll live in the car before we sell it.
Yeah.
You are like that. I told you right away. I was like, I'll never sell anything that, like, any of my vehicles.
And I was like, I don't think you need to worry about that if you're with me.
Nope. I got lucky because my mom was like that. And she said, well, he was getting all kinds of tickets and shit. Had 2 kids. She goes, you're going to have to sell it or park it. At least he got the option.
Yeah,
and he
or
picked,
park it.
Yeah. So he picked
funny.
parking it, and he parked it. And then, thankfully, because later I got to drive it. I got to do things to it, and now it's mine. So,
the Dodge Dart.
one day. Yeah, once we have somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
Be nice.
This water is so good.
How many waters you got over there?
This is my second one.
You need more? I guess you can
Unopened.
drink my water.
Yeah, I won't drink your water. I know you need water too. But so I have some things that I would like to talk about. So it's like relevant to my life because I'm a mom now. Well, about to be in a week, but I feel like I've been a mom this whole time because everything I do affects her. Like literally.
What's it? How have you think your values and not morals, but just your values have changed?
Yeah.
What you value in life?
I think I'm still who I am prior to being pregnant and pre-baby and all this stuff. But I feel like the way I see the world is different now. I mean, not really, like just like a little bit different. Like instead of worrying about just me, now I'm worried about her too.
All right.
Like, things that worry me.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Like things that worry me as a mom is that I've been hearing this like over and over again. I never done the research myself, but I mean I could right here right now, but
Yeah.
there's concerns that moms like at public places by themselves without like a man or husband are like vulnerable because predators feed on moms and new babies, like moms with babies or
No
children.
shit. I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it makes me nervous, like,
Well, all the more reason to get your concealed carry.
because they're like women with children are like vulnerable.
Yeah. No, for sure. Definitely vulnerable.
Especially like in places like Orlando or like Miami or like LA. So it's like it makes me feel good that we don't live in a place like that right now.
Right.
Because like I feel like it would be more of a concern then.
Yeah, you got
Especially with all the stuff that happened to me just by myself
right.
in Orlando. Like I've been chased, like a car chase, like not by the cops, by psycho people.
Tell me about that.
And like
You got chased by some people?
yeah, I was actually this was like in 2019. So I was on my way to a pole class. I was taking pole classes before I became a dancer. And the light was green and there was like this like short white van in front of me. Like kind of like a moving van, but it didn't have any label on it. It was just white.
Okay.
So I have no idea
That's weird.
if it's
Just
a company
unmarked?
truck or like who owns this truck. It was just white, no labeling, just a license plate. So I honked at him because the light was green and he was like sitting there for 2 whole minutes and I'm being patient. He's still not moving. So I'm like, all right, I gotta honk at this guy or I'm gonna miss this late. I'm gonna be late for my class. So I'm like, honk down. It's green. Like I have every right to be like, hey, dude, like move it. And he did not like that. And he starts chasing me
Whoa.
down OBT.
No way.
Yeah. And then
that's
I switched lanes because I'm like, oh, maybe he's not following me. Like, calm down, Alexa. Maybe you're just having anxiety right now.
like that guy that chased us on the highway going down to 84, going to Portland like a month ago.
Yes, it was like
Yeah.
that.
That's crazy. I don't know what gets into people.
Yeah.
This road rage.
Yeah. So I was just so freaked out. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm like in my car by myself. Like, I don't have a gun. Like, I don't have any weapons. Like, it's Florida. Like, so I'm just like, I don't know if this guy has a gun. I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't know why he's chasing me. All I did is honk him when the light was green. Like, after like 30 seconds at least. Like, I didn't honk at him right away. And I was like switching lanes at first. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not actually chasing me. Like, this is in the beginning. Like, maybe I'm just a little paranoid because I'm always paranoid about stuff. And then
This is very, very true.
and then I was like, oh shit, he's getting in my lane again. And I'm like, okay, let me go back in this lane. And if he does it again, then I know for sure he's following me. Right? Like, and then so he does it again. I'm like, okay, I gotta find a way.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So now I was like, okay, I need to come with an escape plan. So there's like
You
this.
know, first thing I always do is check how much fuel I got.
Oh, I had a lot. I always had
Okay.
my gas full. Sometimes, not always. You know that's a lie.
More than once have I had to
But
bring you gas.
I did have gas. So there was a Walmart that had a gas station attached to it. So I just pulled into the gas station and I literally like parked in the handicap spot and like jumped out, went straight into the gas station, and I was just like hyperventilating, and everyone in the gas station is like, are you okay? I'm like, no, like this guy's chasing me, blah, like, and he pulls into the gas station, he circles it 3 times.
What?
Yeah, he's like an actual psycho. Like,
That's crazy. He's literally stalking you.
yeah, he's like circling it like 3 times, and I'm like, that van right there or truck or whatever. Like, he started chasing me because I honked at him because the light was green, and now he's following me here. And then these like these two men that look like they're construction workers were like, oh, do you want us to like follow you for a little bit to make sure you get where you need to be safe? And I was like, what if they're just another psycho? Like,
No. I mean, eventually you got to have help, right?
and I was like, okay, like, I thought about it for a minute. I was like, what if they're just using this as a way to stop
You
me?
can't be thinking everyone's a psycho.
Well,
Like you're in a horror movie.
well, when your brain's already like traumatized.
I mean, yeah. That's one thing I can never relate to.
And then I was like, okay, like maybe they're really just trying to help. But what if they're not? And then I'm fucked. Like so anyways, like I was like, I just went with my gut. I'm like, okay, they really don't look dangerous. They look like harmless men. And
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Just follow your gut.
Yeah,
It's
and I
usually
was-
correct.
And I was like, okay, yeah, like that would be nice. And so they followed me for a good 30 minutes and then they went their way because the guy with the van disappeared. So,
Thank God.
yeah.
Yeah. You were really smart not to like just keep going where you're going or go home or anything.
Yeah.
That's like the.
I was getting scared. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have to stop.
You could
like,
always call that in too.
Yeah, but I just like panicked and I was like, okay, I need to go in somewhere public. That was like my first response. Yeah. So,
Good call.
yeah, so it's just like a bunch of crazy stuff like that has happened to me in Florida, and none of that has happened except for that one incident going to Portland.
That was so weird.
That is like the only crazy thing that has happened here in like the Pacific Northwest.
And we've been all over out here.
Yeah.
Look, cute little guy.
Do you want to talk about that crazy thing?
I mean, it was just wild. This
Yeah.
guy. So this guy, we're driving, and I'm on my bike. I'm going to take my bike to the Harley dealership, get some work done, and my wife is falling behind, so she could pick me up. And we're on the highway, and I'm in front of her, and she has this guy's like riding her ass, gets around, she like gets over. He stops or something. I don't quite know how it happened, but all of a sudden he slams on the brakes and like she had to swerve around him. Mm-hmm. And then he started chasing me down, doing the same thing, got out of the way. And it was just like this cat and mouse thing for a while.
It was
and I had to
crazy.
like stop, like blocked him so he couldn't get near her anymore because she's driving with the baby and stuff. You know, not with the baby, but pregnant. And it's like, yeah.
It was
Can't be doing
scary.
that.
It's
That
like,
guy was being totally erratic and crazy.
yeah, it's just like, it's really terrifying when people get road rage like that because it's just like you can't predict what's the end result's going to be.
No, yeah.
And it's
really
terrifying. Yeah. So, yeah, so it's just like stuff like that that worries me that I guess would change my values, like how.
bad. Do you find yourself like paying attention to certain things on the like following any type of like reading the? I started like watching the news more and following the news and just like needing to know, like being concerned about like where the country's going, things that are going on, and just paying attention like the world that she's going to be coming into.
I mean, I worry about that too, but I feel like that's something I can't control. I can only do my job as a parent to protect her from being brainwashed by our twisted world.
Yeah, I try not to like worry about it, but I do follow. I do
Well,
pay
that's
attention.
fine. I'm saying you can follow it, but I just don't try to get too consumed into it like you do because I have anxiety.
Right.
So I can't consume into it like that or I'll stress myself out. So like instead, like I read things like how to protect my kid. Like what are safety things I can do to protect my child.
That's good.
And like one of them was that I started practicing while I go to the store now, just so I get it in my brain routine to do it when she's here. Is like, so you're supposed to get in between the cart and the door. So like, if this is your car, if you're here, if this is like your car, you're here and the shopping cart is here. So you're between your car door and the shopping cart. Mm-hmm. So like when you're putting the baby in, like you have your back turned, you can't see what's behind
Yeah.
you. You can
So
put
what do
the
you do?
baby in safely.
Then
then they can't get to you, and then you unload the groceries.
Okay. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
leave her in the cart. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, you put the baby in first, make sure you get her in there safely.
You want to do this?
I can't talk and build. It's just not possible. It's really not possible. I can't work and talk either. Like, I'm either talking, and then I'm like, and then everyone's like, Alexa, get back to work. I'm like, oh, sorry, no one talk to me, please. No one talk to me.
There's people like that on my last job. They could not. I would have to tell my partner, like, hey, man, gotta get to work. Quit talking.
Yeah,
Need
I
to do
literally
shit.
cannot talk and work. And it comes off as like bitchy sometimes, I guess. 'Cause
Really?
people will be talking to me at work and I won't respond much.
Yeah.
And they think I'm being stuck up or this and that and the third. But it's like, I'm really just trying not to get in trouble.
You just have to tell them, oh, just working. I gotta keep working.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's a hard one for me. I always been like that. Like, I used to be told I talk too much at work a lot when I worked at
Did you talk
Disney.
a lot in school?
No, I didn't.
Really?
I was on Adderall.
So you're just like,
I was like, when I went off Adderall is when everything changed. But like, when I was on Adderall, I was just that kid that would write every word on the screen, like from the PowerPoint, every word. I wouldn't summarize anything because I'm like, I don't know how to summarize this. He's gonna be
I was like that too.
like, by the time he's done with this slide, I'm gonna figure it out, and then it'll be too late. Like, so I would just be like writing as fast as I can.
I would have so much anxiety over taking notes.
Yes, me too.
I'm not a fast writer, and I'm like,
Me either.
Oh no.
Right?
Screen, can you go back? And you can only say that like once or twice, and then you're like, oh, I'm that guy that's always holding the class back.
Right. Luckily for me,
When phones came out, click.
right?
Oh, thank God. I got the direct fucking PowerPoint, which we had computers. Why didn't they give us the option of the fucking PowerPoint and an email?
I know,
Or
right?
here, take your flash drive and take it home so you don't have to take
Some
notes.
teachers would print them out and then have like fill in
Yeah.
the blanks, so it makes it easier for students who can't write that fast. But like me, like when I got to college, like I had the option to with my combination letters because of my learning disability. I had the option to voice record lectures.
Okay.
And then also they would email them to me. Like they had to because like
So then you could review them.
yeah, like there was no like I still took notes because I feel like taking notes is still important because it's something about writing things down. It sticks to your brain better because you saw it first and then you're writing
Yeah, it
it, and so
definitely
your
does
brain
make an
remembers it. So it's like still important to write notes down. Like me sitting there in class and just listening and then reading the notes at home didn't work either. So I had to do both.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
weird. I don't know what it is, but it does affect the brain differently. You remember it.
Yeah, it does. That's like why my dad's been telling me for years, you need to write it down, you need to write it down. And I'm like, yeah, I'll write it down. And then I never do.
Well, you're good about that now. You have like a note, like you always have a schedule.
I know.
Write it on a
It's so
calendar, on a
weird.
schedule. You have a notepad. You have your phone calendar.
It's so weird that all these things my dad's been telling me I need to do, I didn't start doing until I got pregnant. I'm like, it's just like something click. It's like, oh, I'm a mom now. I gotta be on top of my shit. Like I
Are
got.
you excited to be?
I
Like,
am.
do you feel like you're ready?
No, but I'm excited.
Right. Sometimes I'm like, I'm ready. I got this. And then other days I'm like, oh no.
I think I'm gonna be okay though. Like
Anxious.
I feel like I changed so much since then that I feel like I can totally do it. Like I changed like what I was supposed to be doing like decades ago. Now, like all in 1 year.
It's true. 9 months.
Yeah.
Not even a year.
So it's like, I think if I just stay positive and like my therapist said today, like I'm nervous about the breastfeeding thing. Like what if it doesn't work out? Blah blah blah. And she's like, I just need like positive reinforcement sometimes. And she gave that to me today. And
That's good.
she was like, if breastfeeding is something you want to do, you absolutely can do it.
Now that you have a therapist, how you haven't been to talk? You did therapy when you were younger, yeah?
Yeah, it was my dad, but never just for myself.
So how is that going? How do you like it?
I like it a lot. She's been really helpful. Like, I even like talked to her on Friday when we didn't have an appointment because I was having a crazy hormonal breakdown.
Oh God, you got through it. You did good.
Yeah, we won't get into that on the podcast. It was a little insane.
Yeah, typical pregnancy stuff though.
Yeah. So
I'm sure.
I really like her. She's helping me a lot. I'm really gonna need her a lot more when I go through postpartum.
Right.
So
That's good. I'm glad you. That's why I was mainly concerned about it. Was the postpartum part.
yeah, I read that, or not read, but my cousin today was telling me that she read from a doctor that the main reason why women go through postpartum depression is because they're lacking calcium and magnesium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you really should probably be on back on athletic greens.
I guess so, yeah. And then he said that he did
from the calcium from
yeah.
from the milk and stuff.
Well, just like supplements, like pills or whatever supplement that has calcium and magnesium. And she said that he did a study, and he said the women who did the calcium and magnesium supplement didn't have postpartum depression like after they done it for a period of time versus women who didn't do it at all.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe that's what the depression is. Is like you're just
It's a deficiency.
Yeah.
It always comes from a chemical, some sort of.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. I was like, thank you so much for sharing that because that's helpful for me to know.
Watch your microphone there.
Sorry. I was like, that's really helpful for me to know because a lot of people don't, I mean, maybe they do know why, but they don't want to share why you get postpartum depression because
It's just hard to say why anybody, like any kind of depression.
Yeah.
The brain is a tricky thing.
It is. It's very
So it's like-
difficult.
That's probably some breakthrough stuff right there.
Right. So, I mean, I want to try it. I want to see if it works. Like, how hard, I mean, what harm can it be to try it? Like,
Yeah.
Like, calcium and magnesium is something your body needs anyways. So, yeah.
I'm all about it. I take my supplements. I like supplements.
Yeah.
They're good for you. Make you feel better.
Yeah.
Like vitamins, especially because even if you try, and especially today, like things are processed. There's things you cook them too long. Like there's science out there that learning that if you steam vegetables, you can steam the nutrients right out of them. Like certain vegetables.
Yeah.
So there's like things that we're learning that. Oh, I ate vegetables. Well, you kind of just ate dead vegetables.
Yeah, that's
You didn't
why
get
when I met you,
anything.
you served me like raw broccoli.
I did, yeah.
I was like, why am I eating raw broccoli? You're not even going to steam it? And you're like,
I lightly steamed it for a second.
yeah, and I know. You're like, yeah, I don't steam my veggies because it takes the nutrients out. I was like, this guy's crazy. He just
You
served
stuck
me
around.
raw broccoli.
I did. That's so funny.
I was like, I mean, but he's hot though. I guess I'll just deal with it and eat it.
Well, you were the wild one stalking me and shit back in the day.
It was, but hey, it got me where I wanted to be.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I don't stop until I get what I want.
No. Should have learned that a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh man. So what about you? Do you think your values have changed since we're not parents yet, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, they started to.
Yeah.
And like you just look at things different and you look into the future more.
Yeah.
Like I was going to ask you a question like
Okay. What was that?
but I'll answer first
Okay.
by bringing it up. Like, where are you going to, like, what's our future going to look like? So, not just, like, what's the state of the country and everything, but I'm looking at, like, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Because now I never, like, with all my injuries and stuff, I learned to have a shorter leash on how far I could dream. Like, I had big dreams, but I don't want to plan things out that far. I don't want to have that long game because I would get injured. Things would happen. Had to learn to kind of shore that up so I wouldn't be disappointed all the time. Oh man, it's a setback. How much longer now is it going to take to get there? And once I quit looking at that thing I could never obtain, and I had little goals that I could do and I could obtain, and just
Having little goals is really good.
yeah, and
yeah.
so, but now I have to kind of reverse that and have these big dreams. And all my dreams came true just pursuing a little goal. And so kind of subconsciously in the back of my head, because I wasn't pursuing them, it just happened.
Yeah.
And then eventually I ended up where I wanted to be. It was one little choice after another.
Yeah.
And so, because there's no blueprint on how to get there, so it's just like you have to learn that.
Yeah, life is just.
And now I have to think about the big picture because I have a commitment. I have a lifetime, really, but like 18 years to really make sure I don't fuck this shit up.
With your daughter?
Yeah,
You're not gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. We have to. I'm looking at like, okay, now we're gonna need to be getting a house in the next 5 years. Like, there's things that we have to do. I want more stability because I could definitely, as an iron worker, that was single a year ago. Well, year and a half, 2 years ago, and I bought an RV so I could be independent completely.
Right.
And I was like, all right, job to job type of mindset. And apprenticeship was as long as the scope was. And it was totally different. And now, like, just bringing you out was like a little bit more commitment, and then deciding to have a baby, and that really set in the further pregnancy got. And now it's like, oh yeah, you have to look into the big picture because they're going to get grounded in a place and you can't move.
Yeah. It's just too hard on kids to do that.
Yeah. And I lived in one place. I know you moved, but I didn't.
Yeah, I moved a lot. So I know how hard it was for me, and that's why I've been like stressing it so much. Like, we can't keep moving so much. And like, it's hard for me now just like traveling with you a lot as an adult. And you would think because I'm an adult I should be able to take it more, but it's like, no. Adults go for stuff too.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier.
No, it doesn't. And it's just like, I mean, I didn't move a lot like as a baby. Like, we had one house in Palmdale, and we just moved houses like twice. Like, I was a newborn, and then they moved like to another house somewhere.
In Palmdale?
Yeah, also in Palmdale.
My parents did that once.
But that was it. It was just that one switch, and then I lived in Palmdale until I was 8. And then we moved to Minnesota. And then when we moved to Minnesota, we had one house that I grew up in with my parents still married. But then in 2010, or 2007 really, so moved to Minnesota in 2001, 2002, roughly around somewhere there. And then 2007, my parents separate. So then my mom gets a townhouse. My dad stays at the house.
Shit.
And yeah, and then my dad sold a house, which was hard for me because it was like I was going for my parents' divorce and everything was new, and now I have to get rid of the house that I knew. So I'm like, ugh, like now I can't hang on to anything that was like familiar to me.
That's
like,
and so neither one of your parents was in the house that you grew up in?
My dad was for a little bit until he sold it, and then
Damn.
And then
so you had nothing that looked familiar.
No.
New homes, different lifestyle at home.
I was always jealous of friends that I made in Minnesota that lived in the same house their whole life. Like, it was like I got so jealous. I couldn't even be friends with them anymore. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like it was,
really?
It was just like, it bothered me. Like, I feel like I can't be friends with someone that I'm so jealous of.
Yeah. Where do you think? So, what made you jealous? Like,
because like
you didn't recognize that though.
I probably didn't at what?
Bring it down a little bit. No, don't pull it away. Just your tone, your voice.
Oh,
yelling at me in the microphone.
I don't know if I recognized it when I was little, but maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe like not subconsciously.
So my dad had like anger problems growing up.
Yeah.
So I always like recognized, and then my mom would get mad at him. And I always like kind of was like, all right, well, anger only really hurts the person that's angry. Like no one else And then I learned with my own frustrations and shit, like
Yeah.
being angry, like only the person that's angry is like no one else knows.
Well,
Unless
are
you're
you
right there in
saying,
front
like,
of someone, like you're only hurting yourself. So at an early age, I kind of realized like, okay, and it wasn't something that was overnight, but it was something like I worked on as a young kid, and eventually like
excuse me.
be mad. I definitely can get irritated and be mad, but I try not to hold anger. I don't really hold anger against people.
Because you're dad.
No, just a lot of like my own situations and just realizing maybe that made an impact. But
Yeah.
at one point, my mom will get mad. Everyone gets mad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of situations with other people seeing resentment,
Yeah.
like deep seated anger.
I don't think I had resentment like towards those.
Well, jealousy is a type of resentment.
I guess so, but it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like I wanted what they had. Like I wanted to have parents that were still married that also like were in the same house since forever.
No, I get it.
And
I
it was
understand
like-
why you would be like that.
Yeah, and I tried to think about it in a positive way, like, you know how they say like Earth is our temporary home, and like we're all gonna go heaven one day
Yeah.
if you're a believer. So I started thinking it like that, and like, okay, every house I live in is a temporary home, and like one day I'm gonna be with God. This isn't forever.
That's a very healthy way to look at it.
And like I got more involved with God because of like I had such a hard time with the constant moving, and like I was very like involved in my church, and I would be like one of the main people at the prayer room. Like I constantly needed prayer. Like I was just really struggling.
You're still very active.
Yeah.
You really like praying for people.
Yeah,
That's good.
And I like getting prayed.
Yeah.
Like I like getting prayed for. Like it makes me feel like something's actually gonna work. Like because I feel like prayer is like the only thing that does work.
It's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like there's different ways to pray. Sometimes you gotta really believe that what you're saying is true.
Yeah, you have to believe it. You have
Yeah.
to. It's all based on faith. I mean,
Yeah, if you like just ask for
Christianity
it,
is
but you
faith.
don't really have faith in God that it'll happen, then it's not gonna happen.
no.
So it's like you have to go in with a clear mind and basically just pour out to God and be like, God, I need this. Like,
Yeah, and express what's going on. And
Yeah.
just talk. It's a friendship.
yeah.
It's a friendship. That's how I've always looked at it. The friendship. And
So-
keeping that friendship alive.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like this is where my adjustment disorder comes from. Like, you know,
The moving and stuff.
well, just like the things in my life were never constant. Like I was constantly adjusting to everything. So when things change, I flip out because like I'm so used to it that I hate it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You never got comfortable with the idea? I mean, you kind of pursued that in Florida. You moved around quite a bit too.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be that way. I mean, it's never supposed to be that way. Like my
Right.
parents weren't supposed to get divorced.
Of course.
Yeah, like I moved a lot in Florida because, you know, crappy roommates or there was a roach infested problem
That's happened.
or like I got screwed over on a lease. Like, but
Life happens.
yeah, basically life. But the thing that was constant though is like I still had my friends and I still lived
So
in
you're
really
still in your home.
Yeah.
Just different houses.
Yeah, and it was all in my control. Like my parents' divorce was out of my control. I couldn't do anything to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could never like that's a crazy experience.
Yeah, like it
never
was
be
terror.
able to
It was
relate
like
to.
the darkest days of my life for me because like I literally cried so much. I was like, this is it. Fairy tales aren't real. There's no such thing as fairy tales.
I remember you talking about wanting fairy tales when I need a fairy tale marriage and fairy tale this.
Yeah.
Is that why? They have a big part.
I don't know if that's why, but I think it's just something that every woman just dreams of. Like even Kim Kardashian had a fairy tale wedding. Like, come
Of
on.
course. Of course.
So
You wanted to be wooed every day.
Yeah, of course, duh. But
I try.
I am wooed every day now. Like I
know.
still can't believe you're in my life again because how things were before.
Yeah, we're just so much better people. I was such a dick back then.
Yeah, I was kind of a bitch. It's okay. We were just both psycho.
Like, you don't need... Flowers are just going to die.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. I was like, wow. And I think what I said back to that was like, wow, I read a story.
That's not what I want.
I think what I said back to that was like, I read a story about a man that bought flowers for his wife every Monday. And you're like, yeah, well, that's dumb.
Wasted a lot of money, that guy. Guy should have saved his money. He might not be in the ground anymore. Could have retired early. Fucking wouldn't have bought those flowers.
Yeah, you're a dick.
Oh, man.
For some reason, I still stuck around.
I don't know what was wrong with you.
I don't know either. What was wrong with
Who
me?
knows? We were both like, man, love, that's the problem. People are like, oh, love is a drug.
It is.
It definitely is a drug.
It
for
is.
sure.
Yeah, I definitely loved
Toxic.
you. It was toxic love back then.
Not anymore.
No.
Now you're amazing.
Sometimes the toxic love is the most thrilling.
What was it? We were just watching a show. They were talking about that. Can't remember.
I don't know. What were they talking? Was it the dope sick one?
I'm not sure. Anyways,
But
you had some subjects. What do you want to talk about?
oh, I was gonna talk about how I view friendships now.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
So like now that like my life is not being single, I mean obviously I'm married, but what I mean by that it's like I'm not like kidless anymore. And so there's like things I've been like struggling with, like
Bring it down. Can't see your face.
oh, sorry. Let me find it. Oh my god. Okay, here it is. So 7 reasons why your friendships change in adulthood that we all go through.
Where'd you find this at?
It's the same thing as the Mind Matters with
Okay.
the therapist from New York. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of like self growth because I'm going for a huge change in my life.
Yeah. Okay. carry on.
That we all go through as we age, yet don't talk about enough as
Repeat that from the beginning. Sorry.
It's okay. 7 reasons your friendships change in adulthood that we all go through as we age, yet don't talk about enough as a society. So your time and energy and obligations and commitments change. As earlier stages of life, many people have similar commitments. So as people get older, they can take different paths and different times. And because of that, their daily energy levels, obligation commits vary too. So this is
True.
like, this could be like one reason why.
It's definitely a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not enough time. And
Right.
if there is extra time, people are probably tired or have kids or...
So like, just like reading these has helped me not take things so
What else
personal.
does it say?
So you get.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. So I was just saying that like reading these has helped me cope with friendships that have changed since I left Florida, or like even like just now, like I made a friend here and like she moved back to LA because of her daughter, which is like, okay, I have to be understanding of that. Like things just are fluid when you're a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, life is ever... It's
Yeah.
as Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend.
Yeah.
Be water.
So the second one is you get sick of dealing with toxic or one-sided friendships. There may come a point where you
You
are
faced that one, right?
there may become a point where you're over dealing with toxic or one-sided relationships and decide to disengage to protect your peace, which I have definitely done that.
That's very healthy, too. I
yeah.
think a lot of people deal with that, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to set that boundary.
So this also reminds me of ghosting, and I recently listened to Violet Vincent again, and she was saying in her podcast that ghosting creates mental trauma.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, that is interesting. Like, and I was like, I had to listen more. Like, how does ghosting affect the mental health? And it's just because the unknown reason why you were ghosted.
Yeah, it's incomplete. It's
Yeah.
like you need to. It's no closure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just interesting because I just never really like thought it affected my mental health if I was ever ghosted. Like maybe it bothered me, like, but I would always like be like whatever, like they're missing out, like, or this is
Have to talk yourself up.
yeah.
Like get your confidence back because it's fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's like a cheap shot.
Yeah.
You didn't see it coming. You're gonna get that blow. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. And then I guess for the ghoster, it's also there's fear because their fear of confronting, or the ghoster doesn't have
cowardly.
Yeah. And they said people who ghost also lack communication skills.
Whoa.
So it's like maybe that's like a good way if you ever are ghosted by a friend or like someone you're trying to date. Just know they have horrible communication skills.
So for me, like when I see something like that happen, I really, I'm always brought back to the same thing.
Yeah.
What happened to that person that made him become this person?
Right.
Because almost, unless you're a psychopath, which is very rare.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure they're not out there voluntarily like, hey, check me out. But as long as you have a conscience, that's not like you understand, or you probably face that at some point in time. It's like, why am I like, they can't feel good about doing that. And maybe if they do talk themselves out of it like you did, like, oh, whatever, it's their loss. Like, they have to face that. They have to look in the mirror eventually.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I feel like people just don't know how to
that takes a
be
toll.
confrontational. Like if I ever
Was that how their fathers
for
were?
example, like I was talking briefly to this guy on Bumble, but then you came back in my life. You know, you came to visit me in Orlando for the first time in 3 years. And then I was like wanting to be serious with you because like I wanted to be with you again. And so this guy's like, oh, how about I take you out to, like, this is after you went back to Oregon. He was like, oh, I want to take you out to dinner. I was like, sorry, you're late. Like, I'm back with my ex.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit. I'm like, dude, like, you ghosted me for so long. Like, I wasn't going to wait for you.
Yeah, and if you're out of town, like when I had people, flings that I would have, because I travel a lot. So if I had a fling or whatever, like I let them know. I was always up front, like, hey, I'm here for this amount of time, or I'm here and I don't know when I'm leaving, but when I'm gone, and I'll let you know. Then I'd let them know, like, hey, I'm got to go.
Right.
Make peace. I'll hit you up if I'm back in town, if we can hang out, if everything's cool. But yeah, you can't. It's just like the unknown is always what. The unknown is where fear comes from. It's where anxiety, everything comes from the unknown.
Yeah,
So-
and it's crazy that that's what creates anxiety because, like, we're supposed to just have faith. I mean, maybe not in, like, people like that, but, like, just, like, in life, like, have faith that everything's going to work out. And then it's like, well, the unknown is still scary, even though I'm supposed to have faith. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, but when it comes to people, it's like, yeah, I don't think you should put your faith in people. unless it's your husband or wife.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Even, like,
to an extent, right? Because there's people that think that about their...
To extent, yeah.
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 Because it's important.
Like, you want it to be a healthy faith.
People can get so, so scarred that they don't have faith in anybody.
Oh, I
And
know,
that's not
right?
appropriate.
Yeah.
You have to get through that. I've met some of those people, and it's sad. It's really sad to see, and they can't talk about anything to anybody, and
Right.
it's heartbreaking.
It is. So the next thing on the list of, like, reasons why friendships fall apart, or shift, I should say, is you aren't close in proximity. It's not convenient anymore. Many people notice relationships frizzle after college or similar settings because those who they spend time due to convenience now requires effort to spend time. People may be busy, exhausted, or not prioritize their friendships formed from convenience. So this one's really hard for me because I don't really become friends with people because it's convenient.
Right.
I become friends with people because I see value in that person.
Friendships are about what you do when it's not convenient.
Yes, thank you.
That's a true friend.
So, like, my friend down the road, I saw value in her. I saw, like, she's not a judgmental person. She's very down to earth. Like, I value, like, who she is as a person.
Right.
And I'm not friends with her just because she's convenient. It just happens to be working out that way. Because we were going for our pregnancies together, and she lives 3 minutes down the road from us. So it's just worked out, like, to my benefit.
Like, I had a friend I messaged.
And if we ever move, am I going to be sad? Yeah. And I'm going to try my best to keep in touch with her because that's who I am as a friend. Yeah.
Well, like, even and I got a lot of friends. I kind of throw that term around loosely, especially as an iron worker. Friend.
Oh, friend, yeah.
And, but I do have a lot of friends in the iron workers that I don't talk to once a year.
Yeah.
But I'll always be seeing them on social media. And, like, I called a guy the other day, and I talked to another guy a few weeks before that. And when I get a chance and I'm thinking about him, I try and call him. But every time I do think about someone, I'm not always available to call them. So at that point, like, that's where life goes on. But I never take offense to the fact that I haven't heard from him in years or whatever.
Yeah.
I ran into a guy. I didn't even have his number. He was cool, though. Ran into him after 3 years, 3,000 miles away.
Wow. That's crazy.
World. Right.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's just cool to just
those that
appreciate
can't-
their time when it's available.
Right.
And I don't get offended if it's not. And I
that's
try
good.
not to put myself... Now, if you schedule... You can't piss me off. If you schedule some shit and we have, like... If you blow me off,
That's a
then I'm
different
going to have
story.
a problem. Yeah, then
Yeah.
I'm going to have a real problem. That's disrespectful. It's... And the most valuable thing is time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't like that either.
give
I
me-
lost a lot of friendships over that because they would do stuff like that. I'm like, dude, that's not cool.
I understand
don't-
emergencies,
I
but...
don't play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And it's like, if they do it multiple times, it's like, okay, I don't even want to. No, there's no next time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool
Yeah.
me twice, shame on me.
Right.
And as the last George W. Bush, fool me, can't get fooled again.
Right, right.
That was in a J. Cole song.
I know I have that song on my phone. It's the only one I have, Role Models.
Yep, J. Cole's this shit.
So you grow in your own values and realize some of your friends may not share them. So this one is the one that has shifted the most for me, obviously, besides the close proximity, because yeah, I did lose a lot of friends moving out here from Florida, but that's okay because I don't really live that life anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a mom now. Like, things are different. I live a very unique lifestyle with you.
Yeah.
Most people can't relate to me because,
You would still enjoy Friends, so, I mean, you were friends.
well, no, I'm just saying, like, people can't relate to my lifestyle. A lot of people are confused by my lifestyle.
It is definitely,
Like, whenever I say how many times we have moved, people always ask me, oh, why did you move that many times? I'm like, my husband's an iron worker.
even
and
my own family sometimes.
Yeah,
don't
so
get
then,
it.
and then, I'm like, oh, my husband's a union iron worker. And they're like, oh, but why does he have to move? I'm like, well, he just likes to chase the money.
Get it while we can.
That's
you're
the
only gonna live
simplest
once.
answer. I don't really have, I mean, we can stay here, but then, like, the money's not that great. Like,
And I know there's like a limited time on this shit. It's being injured all my life, I like always had this deep fire of like urgency. So I need to get every dollar I'm worth while I can. And any day I work for less is a day I can't get back.
well, I can't explain all that to people, so I just say he's a money chaser because that's really long. Because I'm going to have to explain some other stuff too.
I'm just letting you know right now.
No, I know. Relying on only social media or technology can be difficult. Yeah, I agree.
I lost some friends. I lost friends through like some friends just got left behind. And I mean, that kind of happened with you, like you moved away, but also like left behind, also how you said, like, now you're a mom. So, like, just the things I did, like, they kept partying, they kept doing things, and I had to wake up. I had to become an adult, get shit done, and they just kept down that path, and they didn't ever get to see the light. They just kept going down the dark tunnel. It's like, bro, you got to get your shit together, quit doing this, and eventually you got to cut that off. Like, I'll allow and entertain anything or anyone until I can see it's going to hurt me. At the point where it's going to negatively affect me, then I'm out. And that gets shorter. That fuse got a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Once we got married, or just together, and then we got married, got a little shorter. And I'm realizing that gets a lot shorter with the baby. Like, now that group of friends, or that tolerance for foolery and shit,
recklessness.
is really type of people you'll hang around, because it's, I don't care what you do, it's not going to affect me, right? I'm not doing it, you do you. I could still hang out, we're cool. But now you still, like, now there's people it can affect and influence. I can't have you around. I still respect you. I don't care what you do. I've been there. I'll be doing shit, drugs with you, whatever. Fucking, we can go do some mushrooms right now. But I can't have that attitude anymore.
Right.
Like, now I have a daughter, I have responsibilities. I can't just be like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And
you were doing that when I first moved out here. And
because then we were just too weird together, but we
I think it makes sense to me now why you were like that, because you were probably also adjusting to me living with you. When you were just used to doing fuckery, like, as a bachelor. It's like, and it's like, but
big time adjustment.
From my perspective, it pissed me off, because, like, I'm thinking, you dragged me all the way over here from Florida, and you're doing some reckless shit. Like, what if something happens to you and I'm stuck out here by myself?
And see, now that I have a daughter, I actually feel responsible. I mean, I always took care of you and stuff, but now I feel like, all right, because you're a grown adult, like, right? You were living without me before. You would be all right.
I didn't have a job when I moved out there. I didn't have the funds.
I don't plan on dying or going to jail.
I didn't know that. You were doing some crazy shit with you know who.
Whatever. Anyways, I wasn't doing anything that. Florida, I was way more reckless.
No,
California, yeah.
You were more reckless.
Things that can't even be put on record.
Oh my God, whatever.
You know it's true.
I don't want to know. Okay, can you just move on to what else you were saying?
And so, oh my God, look at the dog.
I know.
Well, Renly had a hard day today.
Supposedly.
He got bit by the horse. You were there. I wasn't there.
I know.
He just wore out.
I'm just nonchalant with the dog.
He's only cried like that one time.
I know. He did have a rough day. It's tough love. Like, I love that dog. But I'm like, I always give him crap for being so dramatic.
He's pretty tough little guy, though.
He is a tough little guy.
This is tall.
Yeah, it is. What is that, like kitchen cabinets or something?
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it.
So the next thing is, like, some people just don't make your top priority list, and that is absolutely okay. When balancing many things, finding time for friendship, especially deep and consistent ones, requires prioritizing. More obligations means fewer people to prioritize. So naturally, you can contact people less, and due to time and energy constraints, and vice versa. So this is the one that helped me the most, because I'm like, okay. And it's not necessarily they don't make my priority list. It's like our friendships have been so distant, and like, we recently just connected, so it's like we're just not on the same playing field. So it's like,
and you've had some friends too.
It's like, just,
you had a harder time getting offended, or an easier time getting offended by someone not answering your, like, taking weeks to get back to you and stuff.
I was like that when I first moved here. Because before that wasn't an issue, and then it was an issue when I moved here. So it was like something I had to learn to adapt to like be okay with, which I feel like I am much better at now.
Way better.
Yeah, so It's just, yeah, it's like I have to be like, okay, this person doesn't freaking hate me. This person doesn't hate my guts.
No, no one.
This
Yeah.
person still cares about me. It's just like they have their own life, just like I have my own life now. I have a daughter coming, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sucks that I'm so empathetic towards people and friendships, and I don't feel like a lot of people are the same way, but like the reality is that is how most people are.
It's true.
And like I have to let that go and not let that affect me because I have a whole new human to raise and care for.
I'm one of the worst about getting back to people too.
And like my goal is to just make sure that she knows that is not the best character trait to be like that.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I guess you could start working on it young.
I'm not saying she has to care as deeply as I do. But,
It's good to care though.
But don't. Like, I just, like, there's things that I want to teach her, like, okay, like you were saying earlier, you make plans, you follow through. Even if something
Yeah.
better comes along, you don't cancel plans because something better came along.
That's right.
Like,
You're committed.
my mom always taught me that too, so I was always like that too. And then when people do that to me, I'm like, who raised you?
Yeah, and it's yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah.
What other things do you want to like? What other things have you thought about? Like, this is important. I need to instill in our daughter.
So I want her to be cautious of all people. You can't trust anybody unless they
True.
give you proof to trust them.
Or your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because people can be very conniving and people can be very manipulating and they can have like motives that are not clear right away.
And very deceitful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy.
So
to
it's like you
get
have
deceived.
to, like, sadly, you always have to be on guard when it's like someone you're like, let's just say at school, like this kid wants to be her friend, whatever. Like, okay, but who is this kid? Who are his parents or her parents? Like, why does she want to be your friend? Like, I'm not saying you have to be so guarded that you're thinking about these as like a 5-year-old, but like,
That's our job.
it's our job. But when she's an adult and she's old enough to make these conscious choices, then yeah, I want her to be thinking about stuff like that.
I think I've thought about that too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like start at an age where she can start like
Reasoning.
yeah,
Yeah.
talking to her, asking these questions, and
Yeah. And like, I'm really hoping because I feel like we're both more open than our parents are. And I'm really hoping that she will feel safe with us because we're so open.
then right.
Like, for instance, we swear, and our parents are like, oh, Alexa, don't say the F word.
Mm-hmm.
My mom does, and I'm almost 30 years old. And I literally told her at my baby shower, I'm like, Mom, I am almost 30. You don't get to tell me how I can speak anymore.
Right. Yeah, like come on.
Like, you're done with doing your job. Like,
Just yeah, you got a grandkid now.
I've been
Just
swearing for a long time. It's not
take
going to
care of
stop.
your grandkid.
So it's like, I'm not saying I want my kid to swear. I'm just saying
course not.
I'm not going to be uptight with my mom and make me feel inadequate by saying, Alexa, don't talk like that. You're a lady.
That's such an old thing
It
to
is.
do.
And my mom doesn't think she's that old. She thinks she's still cool and hip.
Well, first of all, just based off of our age and our parents' age, your mom's old.
I know.
Your dad's also old. Yeah. How old's your mom?
She's going to be 60 in January.
Yeah, your mom's closer to my grandma.
And she still thinks she's cool.
They're less than 10 years apart. Yeah,
Mom, if you're watching, I'm not making fun of you.
it's just facts. You're like 10 years away from my grandma and 10 years older than my mom.
Yeah,
But
so.
there's nothing wrong with that.
And she would always say, like, growing up, like, I'm the cool mom. Like, okay. You just keep telling yourself that.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, she
I'm
was.
sure she is a cool mom. She is cool. She seems cool, but
To
she
a
does have
certain-
a little, like, there is some things you're like, oh, yeah, that comes down.
Yep.
That's been raised.
Yep.
which is fine.
Yeah, like the way it used to be before my parents got divorced, and this is why I stressed it has to be this way. But and it's something I enjoyed about my childhood, something I look forward to.
What?
So, like every Christmas Eve, we had a family dinner at our banquet table. Like we had one of those long tables. Was
Whoa,
like
dude.
was a million chairs.
Like right in this range, right?
Well,
those
I
ones?
didn't hit your face, so I think you're okay.
Just being dramatic.
So, like, those long banquet tables
Yeah.
that have like 10 chairs at them. So we have one of those
That's
tables.
really cool.
Yeah, I know, right? And I really enjoy that because I got to play pretend for some, like, growing up. Like, oh, I'm sitting at the table. Like, we're going to have like a feast. Like, it was just like this, like, fantasy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fantasy, it was real, but it also, like, some imagination.
Playing it, play pretend.
Yeah, like I got to set the table, like the silverware, everything. It was fun. And then we would dress up and then eat together as a family. And that kind of stopped when my parents got divorced. And then,
Oh, that sucks.
yeah. And then, yeah, all that stopped. It was like depressing. But then she started doing it again with my stepdad. And I was like so happy. I was like, oh my God, it's like the big deal. Like I gotta have to find like the most velvet dress, Christmassy velvet dress to wear, like, but also like it needs to speak Alexa, it needs to say this is me, but like also it's Christmas.
You are very much like that.
I am.
That's what's the best thing about you, though. Is like you gotta make a statement.
I do.
Whatever you do, like your laugh fills the room. Like no one will not know you're not there.
Right.
Anywhere you go, it's awesome.
Thanks. So, yeah, I was like so excited when my mom started doing that again. But the only problem with these tables, dinners, is like we have to be on our best behavior, like no profanity, no this, no that, can't talk about certain topics. And I'm just like,
You know what's weird about?
it's like a love-hate thing.
You know what's weird about? Like I don't even think that's possible anymore because all kids gotta do is get on YouTube. You get on YouTube, Google a video. You don't like. What are you gonna do? Block him? Like no. You get as soon as the kid's old enough, you get on YouTube and listen to a podcast or whatever. There's profanity everywhere you look. It's just a part of language.
Yeah, it is.
It's the world is too open to be censored like that.
I think that it's a time and place. Like, obviously, don't swear in a job interview.
Yeah, and you can't be making me look bad, right? Like if we're at school and shit, cut that shit out, bro.
Yeah, right. Like,
So
there's
you
a
gotta
time and
teach
place.
them, yeah. Obviously,
There's a time and place for it, and like, but I'm not against swearing. I think swearing is healthy, and people who swear actually are less stressed, which is
Really?
weird because I'm stressed all the time.
yeah, you are.
But yeah, they say people who swear. Let me like get the exact facts. Hold on.
Does this thing go down here like that somewhere? Come on, there we go. This is kind of cute.
The kitchen.
Yeah. So this was a May the 4th. They're called.
Oh, that's
gifts.
what it is. People who swear are more honest,
Ah, that makes sense.
right?
They don't give a fuck, so they just
No.
tell you how it is.
Yep.
Like I swear, I don't give a shit. Fuck you. If you don't like it.
Yeah. That's a cute little kitchen.
Yeah, it is, right? This was a gift with purchase. So for May the 4th, they had a special. And this set is from the first Star Wars. This
So-
was Uncle Ben, and I think this was Luke Skywalker's
Are these like
uncle.
little like
No, that doesn't go in
showcasing
there.
things?
I don't know where it goes, but I don't. It could. You could be onto something there.
What would you say if we built like our house one day, or even like just buy a house and remodel the kitchen and we build it like Star Wars themey? That'd be cool, right?
It would be cool. I messed something up here.
But just like that one room though.
The one room.
Yeah, because that's kind of cool. That's a cool kitchen. I like the curve.
The roundness?
Yeah.
I mean, is that really there, or is that just because it's a display piece?
I don't know. I never seen the movies.
No, this is supposed to be in a house. So this would be like the corner, and you walk in here, and there'd be like a roof over it. So that'd be a wall. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it'd be cool to have a round wall.
No, I'm talking about this.
Oh, that's just you got it right there.
Yeah, but it's not tile like that.
Oh, man.
What?
Okay, we can do that. My mom has tile like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's yellow. That's white.
No, hers is white.
It is.
Dork? Yeah. You don't pay attention to the house.
Whatever.
I think I added too many things here. Oh. Put it in the wrong spot. Damn it.
Well, that makes sense. It wasn't clicking.
No, it's too tall.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta pull this off. Shit.
So what are these, plants or something?
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're gonna be little plants. House plants. That's you. You love house plants.
I do.
What's your favorite plants?
Oh, man. My favorite plant, I don't discriminate. I'm very attracted to plants that are bigger, but I never, seem to have the space for them.
I like gardening.
Yeah, me too. One day we can have a garden.
I miss my garden.
Yeah. What did you have in your garden?
I had a big garden. I don't know how big it was, but it was pretty big. Mm-hmm. And we fertilized it for years with oak, rotten oak leaves, raked up leaves, and manure, horse manure, cow manure, and just years tilled it, left it all year, add more to it, and there's rich soil. And I got corn, green onions, radishes. I love radishes, cantaloupes, and then
you
watermelons.
Because whenever I buy them, you're like, I don't like
You
it.
don't really buy them.
I bought them twice and you never eat them.
What you do is you take the water, you slice them, you cut the top, you bunch of little crisscross in it.
Okay.
And then salt water. Oh man, they're so good.
So wait, you cut them in half like a sandwich, and then you put them in salt water?
No, you gotta cut little crisscrosses in them. Yeah, and then put them in salt water.
And what does that do?
And then makes them salty.
You like salty radishes?
Yeah. Yeah, salt cucumbers. You never had salt and cucumbers?
No.
Either? What? You don't salt your cucumbers? What is wrong with you?
I don't.
I love salt.
Well, yeah, salt is a little too heavy for me right now.
For once, I actually overdid it. Earlier this week, I was like, that was too much salt.
Yeah, it was, but still edible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like lately my taste buds been changing, and too much, even just when I think it's a little bit of salt, it's too much.
Everything's different with you, though. It'll all change, too, again.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
wonder if you'll get them back or if it'll be totally different type of taste buds.
I don't know. It's just waiting to see what happens. Waiting game is not fun.
Any day.
How are you feeling about the waiting game?
So, just so people understand.
You're not full anxiety, are you?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, I want her here.
Oh.
It's like everything's on hold till she gets here. We had that Spokane opportunity, but Spokane. And we can't, what are we going to do? We're waiting. Waiting game.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's I got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
Can't do anything. And so it's just, and I want her here. I'm anxious.
Yeah.
You guys waited this long, all right? Should be here by Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe Sunday at the latest, right?
Well, she won't
Monday.
be here Friday. I'll be getting
She might. She could be here any day.
Well, yeah, she could if she comes on her own, but I
You don't think she'll come on her own?
I should be having contractions by now, if that's the case.
No.
Yeah, huh?
You have how many days? You don't start having contractions till it's ready.
See, I don't know how to be a mom already.
Contractions are like sign that you need to go.
Yeah, but I haven't have a bloody show.
But you're not gonna
I
have-
haven't had anything.
You
Like,
still have a few days. It's only Monday.
yeah.
That's 4 more days.
I don't know. The only thing that changed so far is that last night I could not sleep for crap because my hips were hurting. Couldn't sleep on either side without feeling pain.
What makes you think she won't come on her own? That seems like that's some getting ready for birth shit.
What,
Hips
my hip-
hurting. Yeah. Yeah. That head's getting ready. It's down there stretching shit out. You probably might. That's saying you're getting more dilated to me. That's what I hear.
Well, I can't know how more dilated I am until Friday, so I don't know. We'll see.
The only other way to find out is, oh shit, she's here.
I only had like that one weird Braxton Hicks / false labor contraction that one day, and then it never happened again, which was discouraging.
You want more?
Oh yeah, because that means I'm almost done.
Braxton Hicks?
Like,
I
come
want to be
on,
begging
bring
for
on the pain.
No. No. No.
You don't want me to be in pain.
No, it's not smart. You're not fun when you're in pain.
Well, that's what's gonna happen when I give birth. So what do you
Yeah,
mean?
but I don't want
It's
some
not
fake shit. I want to know
smart.
she's on her way. I don't want that fake pain.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just,
Just
saying
extra pain.
I just want any sign.
You're so ready. You were ready. You're like, I'm third trimester. Get her out. Such a dork. For the most impatient woman in the world, it's like, I want a baby.
Yeah, only because I love you.
No, it came out of nowhere.
If
was
I
like,
didn't
"What?
love you,
want a
I'd be
baby?"
like, no, I'm not letting you put a baby in me. It's not happening. Like, I don't love you enough.
Oh, we know. We know.
I would never.
What is the I had a question I was gonna ask.
Okay.
What was the fuck? Let me look real
Did
quick.
you put on your phone?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I got one.
Okay, what?
What's the most difficult experience you ever had?
The most difficult experience I ever had, like, in my whole life? Or, like,
Well, whatever you want to, however you want to interpret that question.
okay, well, I want to say, I don't have just one. Can I say a few?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all yours. Floor is yours.
Okay. So I want to say, like, probably, like, the first most difficult experience is, like, when I was in middle school and I still had a para following me around everywhere. Cause,
What's that? People don't always know.
so a para is someone who, like, if you have learning disabilities or, like, your special needs or, like, you need extra assistance at school,
Okay.
they have to go everywhere you go except for lunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
So they're assistant. Essentially.
yeah, so, like, if I was in science class, she would sit in the back corner by the door taking notes for me. So,
Oh, cool.
So I can pay attention and she will take the notes for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because you have you're a very hands-on person
Yeah, so
and like slower, right? So to be able to do that,
it's just my brain can't
couldn't-
cross process.
yeah, too much at once. Like the
Yeah.
Legos and the talking, like can't do the two at the one.
Yeah, exactly.
I can listen to you and absorb that, or I can write it down and not absorb anything.
Yeah, exactly. So and then, like, after, like, we had a certain time of the day where it was just us, and then she'll help me study or, like, help me with homework I needed help on. And then I always had to see my case manager, which my case manager was the person who would deal with my IEPs, which is a documentation saying that I have to have extra help by law. Like, they have to honor it. It's like a federal crime.
Oh, ADA.
Yeah. So, like, there was some hope in my life where I was progressing pretty well. And then I was told that I have to prove that I don't need her anymore. And I had to work extra hard to prove it just because my grades had to be a certain grade point average. And like I had to have a certain amount of A's. Like there was like certain like stats I had to meet in order for this to happen.
Right.
So like that was like pretty difficult because I didn't think I could do it. Like I didn't have faith in myself or believed in myself that I could do it.
And did that come from like having the help? So, and then like in school, like, right, you're in school,
It wasn't
everything's
really
new. So
it wasn't that I had help that I didn't think I could do it. It was just like I
did you not believe in your abilities?
didn't.
Really?
And my parents
But you'd come far. I mean, you got to the point, right?
yeah, but like and then
That wasn't enough to prove it to yourself?
it's just like I constantly need positive reinforcement to feel like I can believe in myself. Like when I say I need you to tell me I'm doing a good job being pregnant, like I need that.
You are doing a good job.
I know, thank you. But like my parents were so busy with their own life and like their marriage probably because this was like around the time they were separating.
Okay.
And then they just didn't really give me the time today to like tell me like, oh, you can do it, like you got this, or like whatever.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Because,
that makes a lot of sense.
and it was like hard for me to like be myself, the only one saying this to me.
Right.
Like, I mean, I knew like it was
Especially someone overcoming challenges.
yeah.
It's not like it would be hard for someone that was a star athlete that winning games and stuff, but still you need to hear that from your family.
Yeah, you do. It's
And,
important.
Especially if you have
So-
challenges, it'd be extremely
Right.
critical.
And then my parents are educators, so I feel like they did was like criticize if I said a word wrong. That's the first thing to do. Oh, you pronounce it this way. Okay, great, but can you like freaking tell me how far I come along? Like fuck.
Right.
Like,
They got stuck on the progression and not on the fact like
yeah.
sometimes you gotta smell the roses.
Yeah.
Look back.
My mom still does that to me. Like if I say a word wrong, she would say that instead of actually listening to what I'm saying, and it frustrates me because I feel like I'm being like dismissed from what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If that
It
makes
like
sense.
captivates her full attention,
Yeah.
pulls her out of the conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's annoying too.
Yeah, so I feel like that was really hard for me because I had to count on myself to encourage myself to do that. I mean, my assistant, she did too. She was actually very good to me and very kind, and she was like my main supporter. Even though I'm getting rid of her, she was like, "You can do it."
Yep. Hey,
Like, but it
That's
was
cool.
But it's like she will always have a job like after I get rid of her. But you know, of course, the goal is to get
work yourself out of a job.
it's their job to help me enough where I don't need them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was hard. And then when it happened, I was so thrilled. I was like, wow, like I'm finally normal. Like I finally don't have to have this person follow me everywhere. Like I'm an actress and she's my
I
paparazzi.
think sometimes, cause that I always know that I don't ever forget that, and I think sometimes, cause like you said, you still need a reinforcement, and I think sometimes you forget that, you forget what you've done, how far you come, how strong you are.
I do forget sometimes because I feel like I didn't finish because I still have 2 classes left. Like,
Oh, school's like your final test, like
Yeah.
finishing. You'll finish.
yeah, I know.
You just took a
but-
different path. No one
I
could have
know.
predicted COVID.
I wanted to finish college before I had a baby, but then when I realized like that's not gonna happen if I don't have one now.
Well, and like I said, no one. It's been a century since anything like COVID ever happened.
Yeah,
I got
it's
held
been very
back.
hard since COVID for anyone for school.
I got held back in the apprenticeship. Your schooling got moved online. You can't learn math online.
No, it's really
I
hard.
even tried to help, and that shit was crazy hard.
Yeah.
So, like,
back to your
yeah.
question, like, so when I finally got rid of my para and like the day came where I no longer had anyone follow me around, it was weird. It was like a sense of freedom though. Like I feel like the shackles were off my ankles because it's like it was embarrassing because like it made it harder for me to make friends because of that. Because like when you're in middle school, no one wants to be friends with you when you have this weird old lady.
Do you think that that's what it's like for celebrities that have bodyguards? Like children of celebrities or rich people that have
maybe
security?
I can't relate because I feel like that's slightly different.
I mean, the
because it's glorified and it's like
glorified. How? Why is that glorified? Who wants to have bodyguards?
If you have a bodyguard, people will like flex on it. Oh, I got a bodyguard, bro.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. No one wants to be in such danger that you need a bodyguard.
I guess that's true.
The best celebrities are walking around the streets by themselves. No guard.
I mean,
no
it's really
security.
hard to say because I've never been in that position. I can only speak from my experience.
I know obviously there's a certain height that you can ascend to that is for the very, 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 very few.
Yeah.
And where it's a requirement. You can't see a Joe Rogan or a Floyd Mayweather or one of these uber billionaire characters. I mean, Elon, he probably walks around by himself. But certain people, they do have a presence. They talk like a Conor McGregor type of dude. He's probably always got a crowd around him because the amount of people that flock to him, it's
I'm sure it's not fun. I'm sure
his children are going to grow up like that with bodyguards.
Right.
I think as a kid, like I don't know, it just sounded like regardless, like your friends there's an adult with you. Like I don't want to.
I think it's just like it was like embarrassing for them to want to be friends with me because I have this person with me, and she wasn't like a weirdo, but it like of course to like a middle schooler that's weird.
Yeah, there's an adult hanging out with the kids.
Yeah,
because she has to.
Yeah, so it's like, but it was like I was very happy and proud of myself when I proved the school board everything in my power that I didn't need her, and then like from then on I was able to be in mainstream classes.
That's cool.
I still always had to have my case manager though, like that was like standard. Like I had to have that, but yeah, that was probably like the hardest
middle
thing.
school kids are such shitheads.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So.
Of course, I had big buck teeth when I was in middle school. It was super embarrassing. And,
I think you told me that.
Yeah, I never even want to smile or nothing. I was a weirdo.
Poor baby.
I felt like such an outcast with my big old goofy smile.
You don't have a goofy smile.
Not anymore. Got that shit fixed. It was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So show me what you built here.
Oh, so I got my little Hoth Trooper Army thing. So this is the kitchen. We already talked about that. It's kind of cute.
What
it's
are
got
they
all
making?
these cabinets.
Looks
I don't
like
know
potions.
if there's potions.
Like
that's
that.
a plant. This is a bottle. Then there's like little things like books or ingredients in the cabinets. These guys are totally separate. They came with the guns and these little radio packs. I think.
Is this the person that came with the kitchen, the slug guy?
Yeah, it's a woman. It's an old lady.
Is that a dress?
Grandma, yeah.
Oh.
Look, check it out. I always make her hold my Legos.
That's a weird dress.
Here, hold it. Gotta hold it.
He does make me touch the Legos. Such a weirdo.
I want you to hold my toys. And then this little guy, I built one of these early on in the show, on the Brick Fever channel on YouTube, and it was a big one. It was the ATST Raider from Mandalorian, and this came as well with the gift with purchase.
What is supposed to go in here? This one's empty.
That's just supposed to have that on there. I don't know.
Weird.
And that's a little milk crate. It's cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
And anything else that you wanted to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, go ahead.
Next time that we do another episode, this will come out after the baby. So this will be a look in the past. But next time we're on, we'll have a screaming baby in the background.
Maybe.
You ready for that?
Probably won't be screaming because we won't be doing this. But
I know.
we'll just have to do it on hard time.
It might end up like 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
30-minute of and we gotta go.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
Yeah,
It'll be cool to look back at these too. Mm-hmm. Or we'll be doing it with her in our arms, trying to become the Hold the Baby podcast and
Hold the Baby podcast. Oh, your turn.
Yeah. Hey, you build. I gotta hold the kid. You put the things in there.
Yeah.
You dork. They need a little spatula. That's one thing I've never seen Lego do. And they built this little speeder.
No, they had a spatula in the Queer Eye one.
No, that was a knife.
Oh,
this is the little speeder that Luke had
What's
in the movie.
What's a speeder?
Like, well, it's really small, but it's like a car, like a land speeder. His was obviously bigger.
Gotcha. It's in the kitchen, so I was like, oh, maybe it's like a food processor.
I think it's like a toy one.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's another episode. We'll see you guys back here next week, and with a third party, we'll have our little girl with us. In the other room. I'm sure she'll interrupt, and I can't wait. Bye.
Bye.